Relationship with some of them, but the others, their attitude changed, and it wasn't what we set out to be. So I think it was time to move on.
Who do you have a great relationship with?
I have a great relationship with Schwartz. I think he's truly a lovely, kind person, and it actually hurt me to see him kind of get a beating, around the whole scandal time. I think he made a few silly moves. I think he should have stood up to Sandoval more. But I think that's him in his life. He tries to make everybody happy. And he's just always been a very kind, lovable, thoughtful person. I
What are we talking about? Are we talking about we might I might be starting a Vanderpump Rules Watch podcast. Noah, please do. And can I please be on the podcast with you? I'd really appreciate it. Also, I got to get you on here. So, if you guys know me, you know that I am a Thomas Schwartz hater. I think that he didn't make a couple little missteps. I think he really screwed up. I think he aligned himself with the wrong person. I think that he has always been the kind of guy that like sits in the background and doesn't get in trouble because he's like, "Oh, I'm so timid and I'm just a dumb dumb." But no, he's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. He doesn't care about anybody but Tom. And I just call complete bullshit. I think it's just a personality thing. Katie's mentioned it a million times on the show that like everybody like falls in love with Schwartz and takes his side on things and like feels bad for him when bad things happen to him, but nobody holds him accountable. And like I feel like Katie's the first person to ever hold him accountable. And she ended up being like the bad guy in that situation and it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, he's one of the most frustrating people because he does come off so likable and but he's just like, "What? I didn't know that." It's like, "No, you did know that. You're a grown ass man. You are fully capable of understanding these things. You just love." Like I heard someone describe to him that he basically like succeeds by like constantly failing. Like I don't understand how he constantly is failing and being a fuck up but benefits from those fuck ups. It's just so weird to me. I don't really understand it. And I don't like Schwartz. And I don't like that people, especially Lisa Vanderpump, out of all people, defend him all, excuse me, all the time.
love Lala. I think Lala, like with Stacy, I stopped her and Stacy in their tracks, right at the beginning of the show when they got very emotional saying, "You can do this." This is something, when they wanted to walk away, which they did. And, to be on a reality show can be truly overwhelming at times. And to actually say, "I really believe in you and I think you've got a great future," you've just got to go with it. And I think she's really grown from it. And I'm proud of her. And yeah, I think she's a lovely mummy. And I think she's going to be very successful.
But Lala literally was on the absolute wrong side of Scandival, was awful to her friends, believed a cheating piece of shit over a girl that got obliterated and was jealous of her, and therefore because she was jealous of her, everything Ariana did was just wrong. I can't.
What about your
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a hater. I'm a I am a big hater of a lot of this cast now.
relationship with James? And I want to talk specifically about
Yeah.
a pickup
Yeah.
on part of a quote that was attributed to you,
Right.
which is that you had spoken to Allie and James
Mm,
about the domestic incident
mm,
in which James was arrested.
mm,
Charges ultimately were
mm,
not filed.
mm.
So tell me about that. Tell me about.
Well, I hate it if the press are going to, report the story or ask me to stop and talk about something, then put the whole thing out there. Don't just take a little snippet of it because I don't want to be that person that's blaming, the, the reports or the editing but when you say something in context, what did I say? I was very disappointed with James because I've had these conversations with him that drinking, working, or being a decent person for him are mutually exclusive. They do not go together. And he should be held accountable for that because he knows that very well. He's a little asshole when he drinks, he's aggressive, he is just volatile.
So did he do this because he was drunk? Oh, hey, Delissa, how are you? Hi. So did he wait, was the domestic violence thing, was he drinking? Because I thought he's been sober. So I'm confused. Because if he did this to her sober, that's very concerning. In one totally like that to me means that like internally there's something completely fucking wrong with him. Whereas if he did it when he was drunk, I feel like if he got sober, got better, he would be a better person. Therefore, he wouldn't do these bad things. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
So for me, I was very terse with him, disappointed in him because I'd been an advocate for him and his success, and for him to go down that path. And he had so much to lose. Ali loved him. She's a great girl. And I think, with their
Oh, he relapsed? I didn't know that. That makes sense then. That's no justification, obviously, but there's understanding because he doesn't seem to do these horrible things when he's not drinking. It seems to be the only time he behaves this way is when he is drunk or on some type of substance because we've seen him be sober for long periods of time and he's not as confrontational, he's not as mean, he's not as rude, he's not as nasty, he's not as physical. And then where you look at like the juxtaposition of like Jax, for example, like even Lala, I feel like Lala, she is, people don't like her, whatever, but she is a lot easier to deal with sober than she was when she was an alcohol, like when she was going through her alcoholism. Whereas Jax, I hate to say it, like in my opinion, Jax is not going to change. He might not be as, let's say, like physical, but he's still a narcissist, he's still a bad person, and he's going to continue to be a bad person. Like that part of him is him. Whereas I feel like James and like people like Lala, I feel like if they just stopped that part of their life, a lot of problems would instantly just go away. And this is something that James like really, 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 really struggles with. And it's so hard because you're struggling to the detriment of somebody else. Like that's something that really stinks about alcoholism is that like it must be so hard because you're not just ruining your life and like your situations and and giving yourself a rough time. The people that love you are in the same boat with you. And so you're giving that back to them too. And it's just, I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, like, you know what you have to do. And on top of that, you need to stop dating people. Like he needs to not date another girl for a long time, like a year plus. He needs to be single, and that means like not sleeping with anybody, not having any type of relationship, just like raw dogging it because it doesn't work for him. Right now, I needed this. Oh my God, Julissa, you have twins. Hi, twins. How are you? Mommy is taking care of you really, really good right now.
relationship. Now they've got to take time apart because I don't blame her. You've got to prove to me that you're going to be the man that I want. And I think he let them both down.
Do you think that he gets it?
I think what we have to understand is alcoholism is a disease, and it's whether the devil, so to speak, gets the better of you. I think in his mind, he's done something like now 60 days sober. So he understands the seriousness.
That's the thing about James is like, I feel like, and again, I feel so bad because like, I'd love to talk to Kristen Doty and just ask her. And again, this is not a justification. This is just the part where I'm like, James has like an actual disease, like, and has an actual problem separate from like his personality. Whereas like I try to think of like Jax has like a personality disorder. Like Jax has like an actual problem, like built into his fucking brain. But like I'd be interested to see if all the times that Kristen has talked about James hurting her allegedly, if he was drunk or not. Because I do feel like he does understand. He does grasp the severity of it. He knows how bad he is. He knows how evil he can be when he's drunk. It's like Lisa Vanderpump said, which I don't like to take Lisa Vanderpump's side on almost anything. But it's that he is a little, I don't want to say weak because I feel like that's not fair to say that because you're not weak. Like you're just going through a horrible moment in your life. But I feel like he is definitely letting like the alcohol get the best of him and the alcoholism get the best of him. And it sucks because he's going to ruin his life. He already is ruining his life, and it's I don't know the timing of when this got filmed, obviously. Clearly got filmed after the incident, but they're not together anymore. They broke up. So
But I don't know, does he have the strength to stay on that path? And then the world would be his oyster, but he's that close to losing it all. You know, you can't keep making mistakes. You can't, especially when you know the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, the whole situation is unfortunate, and obviously, hopefully, this is sort of the final wake up call that he needs. So, I want to talk about the rest of the group. And since the announcement was made
Yeah.
that the show is going in a new direction, who else
yes, I can. Thank you for telling me. Let me know if this works.
have you spoken to? Who else have you heard from? Who have you not heard from?
Well, I put something out, I mean, on social media to talk about how I love them all, and I do love them all, regardless of their kind of their antics and their foibles, and I do love them all. There's a
Is that loud enough? I just want to make sure. If it's not, I'll make it even louder. I'll turn it up just a little bit more. I just don't want to turn it up so much that it like blows your guys' eardrums out.
deep love but just because what we've been through together and seeing them such a young age, even though they've been very frustrating at times for sure, and they've made mistakes. But it was predictable. Of course, Schwartz straight away called me and said, I just want to thank you for all the opportunities you've given me, and James too. Lala, yeah, I've always been very close to her. I didn't hear from, I think Ariana texted me or tweeted me or something. Katie, I didn't hear from, but you know, as I say, that doesn't really surprise me. It's strange because I'm not saying they should be grateful to me, but they should be grateful for the show. And, you know, as we were to them, we always kind of celebrated them. And, but that show gave them a plethora of opportunities they wouldn't necessarily have had.
I think
I think that it's really difficult because yes, I'm glad the audio is good. Okay. I didn't hear Sheena. I know Noah. I find it very interesting because I feel like this group they are grateful for the situation and they are grateful for the relationships and the opportunities, and I think they are grateful for those things. I can only speak in regards to the women of the show because I feel like they're the ones that actually have brain cells. Is that I think Lisa wants them to like grovel at her feet and like be like, "Oh my God, you're an icon, you're a queen. If we didn't have you, would it be dead on the streets?" Like, "Oh my God," like the boys do. The boys are like, "Oh, Lisa, Lisa, we love you. You're so amazing. You're so wonderful." Whereas the women are like, "Yeah, thank you. What else do you want? We don't interact together anymore." Like, and then for Lisa Vanderpump, it's like, why would Katie want to talk to you? You slimed your way into her business with your little friend there, who the little chef or whatever, and which, in my opinion, again, this is alleged, this is all my opinion. I think that was Lisa Vanderpump like planting someone in there to keep an eye on them in order to see if they'd be more successful than her businesses. Because I'm sorry, she's a sneaky little leak, okay? And so I feel like that situation went really, really bad, and then she didn't even come to something about her and acknowledge the women and their hard work and what they've accomplished and what they've done. And so why in the hell would they want to, why would Katie want to talk? This is another thing about Katie. It's just like Katie's always the bad guy. And it's like, but you're not putting any context. Why the hell would Katie want to talk to you? You're nasty to her. You put her down. You put her in an unbelievably horrible situation with one of your friends, which, whatever. And then you don't celebrate them. You don't show up for them. You only show up when it conveniences. Lisa Vanderpump only shows up for the people on the cast when it is convenient to her. If it has nothing to do with her, she does not show up for them. If it doesn't have anything to do with the show, if it doesn't have anything to do with her businesses, that's why all of a sudden I find it really weird that her and Stassi are all besties with their TV show. And it's like, well, the only reason why she's talking to Stassi is because she knows Stassi is successful. She knows Stassi will make her money, and she knows that she's going to be a producer on her show. Assuming, allegedly, I don't 100% know, but that's going to make her money. If Lisa Vanderpump has nothing to do with you, she has nothing to do with you. She wants nothing to do with you. Like, she's very annoying to me, Lisa Vanderpump is. So she didn't hear about Precious Sandoval in her, yeah. I hate LVP so much, but her dynamic with Katie in season 3 makes me so sad because she did have a soft spot for Katie in the start. Yeah, she did. And then that went out the fucking door. And I don't know why. And I'm sure there's so many hidden meanings in the background of everything like that. But it's like, I'm just really tired of like the praise me, love me, tell me I'm amazing, tell me I'm the one that really made your life a whole better person. And it's like, okay, but like, you gave me the platform. Thank you for that. But I made the platform. Like, that's what Lisa Vanderpump doesn't really understand with this particular group. Sorry, I had to turn my sound off here. That's what Lisa Vanderpump doesn't really understand with this particular group. Again, especially the women, is that yes, I like Lisa Vanderpump brought the show to Bravo, made it kind of happen, had her, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to like platform to use that. But they made the show. Lisa Vanderpump is not the show. If anything, so many fans of Vanderpump Rules, like OG ones like myself, have said, we wish Lisa Vanderpump wasn't on the show anymore. We wish that she would have stayed on Beverly Hills and that the cast got their own shit. That it was weird to have Lisa interact with the cast because it didn't feel authentic, because the way that she was interacting, it wasn't fucking real. Like these like, oh, Stassi has an internship here, and then this person wants to work here, and then, oh, Katie wants to be her assistant for a week. It's like, it never made any sense. And then to say that they have like a friendship with Lisa is also very weird to me because they don't. And it's just very leechy. It's very leeching on to people, and I don't really like it. And so I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I get really touchy when it comes to Lisa Vanderpump. Yeah, Schwartz. Ugh, gross.
I think the distance was kind of needed, and so I think that they're grateful for it, but I think they haven't had a chance to even reflect on it. I think the experience was so intense.
They have reflected on it. They have reflected on it. That's what is so annoying. Is they have reflected on it. What do you want from them? Do you want them to go on television and just be like, I owe my entire life, I owe my babies, I owe my like everything to Lisa Vanderpump? No, at the end of the day, they made the show. The cast is the one that made the show popular, not Lisa Vanderpump. Lisa Vanderpump got the show going, got it through the door, got people to pay attention to it. But you don't have a show that lasts, 11 seasons because of Lisa Vanderpump. No, the show lasted because of the cast that brought it there and like put their shit out there. And then they continue to have success based off of their tenure of those 10 years. It's not because of Lisa Vanderpump. And it's not because of like all this shit. It's like, I don't like that they can never, this group, and again, I don't really speak about the guys because I fucking hate all of them, but the women, I just don't understand why they can't get any credit for what they've put out there, what they've accomplished, what they've done. But I don't understand. Again, they weren't on a show for a season and became famous and like blew up overnight. Like for God's sakes, no one even gave a shit. Okay, at the end of the day, the Bravo fans, okay, would constantly say that Vanderpump Rules was like the worst show or like not worth your time. It's all about the Housewives, all about the Housewives. They were always kind of ostracized. And when you would talk about reality TV shows, people were like, what's Vanderpump Rules? Blah blah blah. Y'all didn't even know about Vanderpump Rules until Scandival. A majority of you didn't even know about Vanderpump Rules until Scandival. So Lisa Vanderpump sitting there higher, like almighty, acting like like the world owes anybody anything. No, you know what? She is lucky that two of the castmates on there ruined their lives on television. You're lucky because your ass and your show was about to get canceled after season 10 and only got a season 11 because these cast members just started to ruin their lives. Let's call a spade, please. You need them more than they need you now. Back in the day, I'd say like the first 5 seasons, they really did need her to push a lot forward, to get it out there, to get it to stay like to get the seasons to keep going, you know? But after that, like, what are we talking? Like, what delusion do you guys live in? I cannot stand this about that like Lisa Vanderpump's generation. I feel like is they think we like that my parents' generation, their generation, and again, this is just a blanketed statement. This is not like all people are this way, but I feel like that generation, for some reason, they think that people owe them something. It's like, you did something for me. I said thank you. I appreciate it. I acknowledge it. That's it. We don't have to keep talking about it. I don't have to bow at your feet. You're not the queen of the world. You're not the queen of Bravo. Like, move on. And that's why it was so weird to me when I found out that Stassi was going to be doing a show with Lisa Vanderpump and then have her own show based off of that, because I felt like Stassi was the only one that would call out Lisa Vanderpump's BS next to Kristen. I was like, oh, you're right. You know? I was like, oh, wow. Like, Stassi's 100% right. Kristen's 100% right. Like, Lisa Vanderpump is very calculated and she wants you to bow down at her. And if you don't, you're ousted. So I was kind of surprised that Stassi wanted to do anything with her, to be honest with you.
And so my guess is that things look different in a year or so. But that also is the reason that we couldn't continue. The situation had changed. The relationships had changed. And I think
it's strange though, right? Isn't it? Because I had success before I jumped.
Oh, hi. I'm live. So this is your time to show the world who you really are. Chicken nuggies. Everybody say hi to hubby in the background. This is who he really is, bringing me food all the time. It's crazy how they iced out Stassi and Kristen. It's all tied to Jack. It's just so weird to me. Like, I don't know why Stassi would want to have a show with Lisa Vanderpump. I don't really get it. It's kind of weird to me. And again, like, Lisa Vanderpump doesn't care about you unless you're giving her your money. Like, unless you're giving money to her. She don't give a crap about you.
Onto reality television. My life isn't hugely different now than it is when I met you. I had a beautiful house and life and Europe and I'd had 37 restaurants with Ken, but I'd had a successful life. They grew up with this, so they actually don't know almost what it's like to live an adult life without a reality show.
Well, imagine going from being a server plucked from obscurity to all of a sudden a celebrated person on a show that's on for a decade.
Yeah, when you're always, you're used to hearing, oh, hey, you,
Yeah.
over here, they're at the beck and call of hundreds of people, as servers every night, and suddenly they're controlling everything. And I think that changed the balance in the show, and it was much more difficult to produce. I loved that. I remember when John Hamm came up to me. I was at the upfronts in New York, and John Hamm came up to me and he said, I'm such a fan of Vanderpump Rules. And, I've always thought working as a waiter in, when I was younger, how wonderful it would be to, have a show about a restaurant. And I kind of looked at him and I thought, your show too, Mad Men, to me, that gave me such insight.
No, Sheena said something about LVP. Where was it? Was it on her podcast? I can always find a clip from it. If you guys want to, or you guys can send me a clip like on Instagram DMs if you want to. And I got to start a Discord. That's what I really need to do. So that way you guys can like actually type in and send me links and stuff so I can actually see stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like Lisa Vanderpump like just really thinks that she is like the end all be all of Bravo. Like, she's like a queen of Bravo. And it's like, girl, now you're on Hulu. And then I hate that she kind of makes it seem like, oh, their dynamic changed. So like that's why we canceled the show. No, you canceled the show. Again, not 100% sure of this, but in my opinion, you canceled the show because the main person that you wanted to suck the living life out of, I almost guaranteed you said, no, I'm good. And I bet you Katie also I think Katie's confirmed that Katie was like, no, I'm all set. Like, I don't need to do this anymore. I'm good. You don't have a show anymore because the cast doesn't want to do it anymore. If they wanted to keep doing it, you guys would have kept doing it. You're not having another season of Vanderpump Rules with the cast that you had because the women on that show don't want to put up with the BS anymore, and they don't want to be around toxic men anymore that they've been forced to be around because of what the show was about. So, like, you didn't make the choice. Like, Lisa Vanderpump didn't make this choice. Like, let's be for real, please. Ariana and Katie, like, they made the choice. I'm sorry, you're going to try to convince me that Sheena and Lala, the James wouldn't have all came back. They would have all come back, but they know they can't have a show. They can't have a show with them. They have to have the whole gang together. Otherwise, it's just not going to, the dynamics are too different now. The fans have a different perspective on this group. Tom Sandoval sunk every hope and opportunity because he sunk it with a girl that doesn't want to be put on camera for a hideous storyline. She went on the season after Sandoval. She went on that season to prove what a piece of crap he was. She did that perfectly. She was amazing. She was wonderful. The fans overall were always on her side. They were never on anybody else's side. That's why. That's why. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. With Stassi, it's one of those things where it's like, do I think she's like still like this like racist person doing these racist things? No, I don't think that. I genuinely don't think she's doing that. I think that she has a much different life now, and she's not, behaving in the ways that she was behaving. But at the same time, I feel like like as a white woman, you're privileged to say you're sorry and then kind of move on and not have to really acknowledge anything. Whereas if this was somebody else, like it would be a completely different. Like we're seeing it right now with Real Housewives of Atlanta, like with Kenya. It's a completely different tune for women of color on these shows. Completely different tune. Let me see if I can find it, and we can have voice chats. Yeah, exactly. It was on TikTok. Uh, felt shady. Ariana and Katie confirmed they weren't coming back, so there was no show. Yeah. So yeah, they've taught like Katie, especially, I know for a fact on her podcast, talked about how like she was not coming back. There was no reason to. She was done. She was finished. The story ended. Like, it's all good. And I just hate that they sit there and try and literally lie to the audience and are like, yeah, the time has come. It's just what it was. The storylines were different. Bah, 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 bah. It's like, no, it's because you wanted to torture Ariana another season and she didn't want to deal with it. And then Katie was a girl's girl, an actual girl's girl, a real girl's girl, and was like, yeah, I don't need to be here too. Because in the real world, when you have exes that are that toxic, disgusting, and awful, you don't have to work with them, spend time with them, be around them if you don't want to. You can walk away or you can get out of situations or you don't have to be in the same friend group. Whereas this one is just perpetuating the toxic behavior with all of them. It's ridiculous.
Into the world of advertising because my father was a creative director. And when I saw John Hamm's behavior on the show, I thought, okay, now that explains a lot for me, that whole kind of through the 60s. And that was my dad, who recently passed. So that was, but, when he talked about behind the scenes of a restaurant, that was what was so unique about our show. To have the front of house, the back of house, most of the times people can't give you access to their business like I did, but coming from the stable of housewives, I was used to it. I was raring to go. I thought, let's do this. But I think most people in business just couldn't afford to do that.
No, I don't. I don't think they would do it. Usually, it's very restricted. But
Yeah.
that's the fun of it to me is to see all of the details, to see the kitchen,
Yeah.
to see the alley,
Yes.
right? And it all became memorable places.
Yes. The alley, that setting right out the back there, where most of the conversations, because I would always, yeah, okay, we'll discuss it in your tea break.
Yeah.
I don't care. So that became pivotal part of the show where all the things were hashed out.
So I want to go back in time a little bit. You referred to pre-Housewives, and I want
Yes.
to talk about when you and I met, which is a long time ago at this point. I was trying to think about it. It's probably 2009.
Did we actually meet when I came in for that audition?
I didn't meet you when you came in. I did see your half-assed application where you basically like crossed off all the questions because you just didn't want to answer them.
Well, I just didn't, I was used to, I had autonomy in my life. I was used to having my own business with Ken. I mean, bear in mind also, we didn't work like now. I work with a huge corporation, Caesars, to my point. As I say, I would never even, I respect everything they've given me and so grateful to them for our wonderful relationship. Um, but I was used to, it was Jennifer Stallone that taught me into it, who said, "You've got to watch this show, New York Housewives." I watched it. I said, "That's so not me. How am I going to be involved in something like that?" They're shouting and screaming at each other. I thought, and I thought, all right, I'll go in. I'd been asked a couple of times. So when I actually went in, it was at the end of the casting process. They'd come to me because I think I was the quintessential Beverly Hills housewife they were looking for. I had a big business right in Beverly Hills. I had that big off house in Beverly Hills. Um, I was, somebody that was up for fun and lived quite a big life. And I think,
Lisa Vanderpump cracks me up because, man, oh man, she loves herself. Which, listen, I love myself too, but not to the point of like again, she's very much like everybody bowed down to me. I think she's a little bit more palatable than like Vicky Gunvalson. I feel like they're on the same level of like, if you didn't have me, you'd have nothing kind of vibe. But Vicky's a lot like harsher in the way she comes at it and the way she talks about it. Um, did you send Jalissa, did you send it to me on TikTok or send it to me on Instagram? Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry. Ariane King Stassi is totally still racist and ignorant. She just never grew from it, and it's just more off TV. I mean, I don't disagree with you. That is probably true. So, I mean, when you want to get back on TV, I'm sure she honed it a lot more in, as I'm sure like Kristen and now all the other cast members had to and did, except for Jax. Jax apparently was like, I'm just gonna be the same exact person and I'm gonna expect different results. But I haven't. Like Jax got rewarded for being an ass by being like, oh yeah, sure, we can definitely have another TV show with you. Why not?
initially I thought, I'm not sure about this. So I went in, I looked at question, I was like, and then I remember you said to me, "Tell me about your sex life," or somebody said to me, "Tell me about your sex life." And I was like, "Are they joking or what?" And I said, "What? With my husband or with everybody else?" Like, I didn't care. I was just like having fun right from the beginning.
And then we hit a stalemate in the contractual negotiations over two clauses that you wanted. One was that you wanted to be referred to as Pinky
Well, yeah.
in
In
the main
fact, my
titles.
my restaurant that I've just opened with Caesar's Palace and the Flamingo is called Pinky's. Well, that was my name I was known by.
Yeah.
And you were like, "No, that's too ridiculous."
Yeah, I was
You
like,
were
I think
like,
we're going to call you Lisa. So I think that's what we're going to go
I was
for.
like, "My nickname's Pinky." But yeah, go ahead.
And then the other one was
Her nickname is Pinky. Who the hell calls her that? Someone fact check this stuff. I need an interview with every housewife, Kyle, all of them. My nickname's Pinky. What are you talking about? I've never heard that. That is made up. I copied the link above so you can search it. All right, I'll see what I can do. I'm not good at this stuff. So,
that you wanted a fee for Jiggy.
Yeah. And you gave me a contract with 4 bloody bones or something.
Yeah. Well, I did what I could. What we
Because
could
I
afford.
knew Chicky was going to be a star. Chicky was this unique little person. And even now, gosh, I miss him so very much. Still got 7 dogs. But he was the inspiration behind the Vanderpump Dog Foundation. So for him, his memory lives on. Yeah, saved thousands and thousands of dogs now. So yeah, his memory is definitely living on.
How do you reflect on Housewives?
okay, thank you. Perfect. I'll look that up in just a second. All right, after we finish this one, and we can talk about that. What was I gonna say? Oh, Lisa Vanderpump's the type of person that she's literally going in her will. I guarantee you, all the money, all the houses are going to her dogs, and her kids are gonna be like, "What the heck?" It's like, nah, give it all to the dogs. Give it all to the dogs.
At this point, how do you regard your experience with that show?
Season 1 was so kind of successful for me, and I was kind of like just having fun and living my life. So season 2, they gave me a hard time. The audience came back at them. Season 3, I had a good time. Season 4, was a show. So it was like almost every other season, the audience would react and they'd behave themselves. So we actually joked about that. I think, after season 6 and I got to season 8 and they didn't come for me, I was like, oh, they're coming for me next time. We skipped a year here. When my brother died, I said to you, I cry if I open the fridge and there's no milk in there. I don't want to do it. I'll do Vanderpump Rules. And I started Vanderpump Rules 2 days after my brother's funeral. I said, I really don't want to do it. But you persuaded me to do it, which you did. Came to Tom Tom, do you remember?
I do remember.
And I thought, oh, God. But I had so many good feelings and so many positive experiences on it. It wasn't like I could just categorically say, no, I don't want to do that ever again. I only want to do the good bits, but life isn't like that.
I think.
But I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have.
I think that's right. I think in retrospect, you probably should have taken a season down
That's what
and
Andy
then
said.
decided whether you wanted to come back to it at that point or not.
But it was so mean-spirited. It was so and I just.
Well, I didn't think you had the wherewithal to. I think I didn't realize just how hurting you were. And so I don't think that you had the wherewithal to deal with something that I think at other points you wouldn't have liked, but I think
like
you
season 6, they'd come for me in a big way. Season 4, they came for me, all of them,
and you could deal with it.
I went to reunion.
You didn't like
the
it.
whole of the whole cast was against me, but the audience were always amazing. The audience always supported me, so I had that. But in season 9, I just thought, and also I suddenly thought, I don't want this to be ambiguous. That's it. When Kyle was in my kitchen, I thought, that's it. To me, if somebody knows you, like I know you, if you said to me, Lisa, I swear to you, on my parents' life, that's it.
Yeah.
It'll be done. I'll be okay. I believe you. What do we do from here? So when you say to somebody, I swear to you, on my children's life, that should be enough. And when Kyle looked at me and said, I don't believe you, I was like, all right, we're done. Get the out of my house.
Well, why do you think she doesn't believe you? Because you've given her opportunities to not believe you. Because you do shady shit behind the scenes. You do call the papers or whatever, the magazines. You do call the gossip blogs. Like, you do these things. That's why she doesn't believe you. She didn't believe you out of like thin air. She didn't believe you because this is how you behave on a consistent basis. And she's aware of this, AKA you and her have done things, I'm sure, together, little rotten people. And that's why she doesn't believe you. And it cracks me up because like Lisa Rinna's doing the same thing right now where it's like the audience turned on me and that's why I'm not a housewife anymore. And I'm like, no, the audience clocked your lies, didn't want to deal with you lying all the time. And you didn't like that because you liked it when the audience was like, oh my God, I love you so much. I love you so the audience loves me so much. I loved it when they loved me, but then when they criticize me or they talk bad about me or they say things that I don't agree with, and listen, when they talk about, there's a difference between like the crazy ass fans that are psychopaths, okay, and then the fans that are like myself and many others that follow me, that follow other people, that will just like constructively criticize them and like call out bullshit. And they don't like that. The women on these shows, they don't like being called out on their bullshit. And this is what ends up happening. This is what ends up happening every single time.
That's it. Don't call me a liar.
So you recently left the door open for reconciliation by saying if she were to apologize for you, maybe there might be...
Apologize for me or apologize
I'm sorry,
to me?
if she were to apologize to you, that there might be some path forward. And she was on this podcast recently, and her message to you was, don't hold your breath.
Oh, gosh. Listen, it would be nice for her just to tell the truth, right? But Kyle's not, as we've seen, as the show's transpired, not always been that truthful about her own life and her own feelings. So maybe if she kind of came from an honest place and thought, you know what? maybe I did get it wrong. Because why would she want to reignite her friendship with me if she thought I was a liar? Well, why would you? I wouldn't want to if I truly believe that. So she kind of comes up to me, sometimes, like if I cross paths with her, and they say the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. I'm indifferent with her. That's it. I'm not really, yeah.
So you don't miss her at all?
I miss what we had, but not the path it went down. I think if anybody's kind of really aggressive with you and they call you a liar, no, you don't. I don't need that person in my life at all. But I miss what we had because I think we had this unique friendship, and that's what I enjoyed. I loved the kind of late night phone calls and how we would giggle and laugh together, and how I was always there for her because she had a very tumultuous relationship with her sisters, as we've seen. So I was always a sounding board for her, an advocate of them, kind of always trying to keep that relationship, on solid ground,
Yeah.
family. But the our antics, Kyle and I could laugh together, climbing over walls.
That is one thing I really do miss about Kyle and Lisa Vanderpump is that their friendship was so funny to watch. Like when I watched old episodes of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, like their little antics, their little giggling. Like I don't feel like Kyle like laughs anymore on Beverly Hills. There isn't a lot of laughter coming from her. There's not a lot of silliness coming from her anymore, and it's just really sad and kind of bums me out. That was kind of the only, like, for me personally, the redeeming quality of Kyle was Lisa Vanderpump, is that they kind of like fed off of each other. They were silly, they had fun together. I feel like they were just, you look at old episodes and there was just a lot more silliness going on. There was a lot more joking around and funny things and late nights and doing flips and kicks and splits and stuff like that. And it's just not happening anymore. And I think that's where a lot of the joy is dipping out of the show.
Break into people's hotel rooms, well, the cast members, and getting stuck in the wall, my butt getting stuck in the wall, or pushing her down the hall on the hotel trolley. I mean, we had a lot of fun. That is what I signed up for. All this arguing, bitching, and accusations, trying to make somebody look bad. No, not interested. My life's too full and busy for that.
Yeah. At least you guys can be civil and can say hi to each other, and it isn't,
I can be if I wanted to be. I don't particularly want to be. Like, hello, bye.
And by the way, no one does cold like you.
Yeah. Bye.
You're really good.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Like, what are you again? Like,
I thought living in uncomfortable moments is sort of a superpower, and you can.
well, yes, but why not be true to your feelings?
Yeah.
Like, I am not going to say, hi, how are you? Bullshit. I'm very easy to read.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
You know exactly where you stand.
If I don't like you, you can stay the over there. Yeah. I'm not, you know exactly what you're getting with me. And I tell you to your face, you know that.
Watch the video edition of Bravo's Hot Mic podcast at bravotv.com/podcast or listen.
See you later, alligator. All right. So that's that interview. Let's watch this video that I just got sent from Jalissa. Here we go. Ready?
Vanderpump. I don't talk to her too often. She usually calls when she needs something. That was recent when I talked to her. She had a question about a friend of mine on another show of hers, and that was pretty much it. Yeah.
What's your relationship with Lisa?
That doesn't like surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all. That like they just don't have a relationship with her because she only wants to be around you if you're going to benefit her in any way, shape, or form. Like it's just, I don't know. Like it doesn't surprise me at all. This is just how she's always been. And it's just frustrating the dynamic of, it's frustrating the dynamic that they all have now. And again, the holier than thou. I mean, I've said all of that. So there's not much else to go off of in that department. So let's go on to uh Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then we'll come back to like current Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So Real Housewives of Atlanta, there has been obviously a back and forth going on. Sorry, I thought I heard something. There's been a back and forth going on about Kenya and Brit and all that. And like I've kind of like dipped my toe in and out of it and trying to understand it. And I feel like I feel like I am missing a couple things. So I wanted to go back and watch the footage from the night in the vault. So if you guys haven't seen this episode, this is just like a spoiler. I don't think it's that spoiling, but it's a spoiler, okay? And I want to put some pieces together and kind of start understanding some things, because the next episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Also, if you are not following me on Fable, I have a book club and a Bravo Holics Anonymous club. It's a Bravo TV club, and we are watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. So if you guys want to join me over there, I am doing that right now. And so I've been, the next episode, we're going to see what everybody's talked about for a very long time, which is Kenya showing up to her event for her Kenya hair care spa or whatever, and showing a very inappropriate photo, like blowing it up poster size and showing a picture of Brit. And so I feel like the speculations, and I have a couple different videos, like I said, we're going to kind of watch together. I feel like the conversation has been basically that like this was Kenya kind of unprovoked and this was all her fault and et cetera, et cetera. But what it's kind of coming out now is basically that she was kind of provoked. Do I think this was the right way to retaliate? Absolutely not. But it felt like Bravo was really trying to put all of this only on Kenya when Brit was acting wild. All right, so let's watch this. So this is from the Throwback Queen. Go support their channel if you want to watch this stuff. I obviously don't own copyrights to any of this stuff, so let's watch this. And this is the scene in the in like the bank restaurant, the Vault restaurant.
Is this a runway?
As always, let me know if this is loud enough for you guys, because Shamia did come in way too hard at the Balmain event. It was wild. Like, what's her face? Is it Andre? Ugh, I'm so bad with names, you guys. I apologize. But she came up to Shamia and like was very like, "Hey, you want to chat? Let's have a casual thing." And then Shamia just started going off on her and back and forth and then name calling and making jokes about her nose and stuff. And it was just like, what are we doing? Like, it does feel like, okay, Angela, thank you. It just does feel like this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, it feels like there is some context that is being like missed. I love how I'm like completely whitewashed on. Listen, I'm already like beyond white. I'm already pasty ass white girl. I don't need it. Let's see if this will help a little bit. How's that? Hello? That's a little bit better. Not amazing, but they are coming at each other so hard, and it feels like it's out of left field, that it almost doesn't make sense. Like the way that Shamia was coming at Angela at this Balmain event, it was like there's some like, on average, people don't just go in on people like that quick from the jump. Like that's not a thing. I know some people do, but not everybody. And I just thought and it doesn't seem like Shamia is that person either. Again, I could be wrong, because like this is the first time I've ever actually really paid attention to like Shamia being around. She's been around on Atlanta for forever, FYI. She's been a friend of in the background, basically. But I don't know. It's like, is it the editing? Are they editing it? Are they editing it weird and chopping it up weird? that there's context missing. Like, it just feels like there's so much context that is being missed. And if Shamia just had like a bad moment and said like a nasty thing out of left field and is apologizing for it, I think that's great. And I think that's amazing. And there's like no reason for these two women to not like each other. So I do appreciate that and love that. I also think that these women have known each other for a very long time. I think that's why Atlanta has continued to be so consistently overall, like for the whole series of it all, very well done and very good, is because they don't bring people from out of nowhere to come on these shows. The women that come on this show are women that the other women know of, have had interactions with, have spent time with, have say like people in common with, and that's why I think Atlanta is so successful. I think that's why Real Housewives of New York, again, you all know I'm a stan. I think that's why Real Housewives of New York is one of the best franchises, the OG, not the flipping new stuff. Was one of the best ones because everybody that they brought on that stayed on that made the show better were already friends with these women. I think Shamia could stay on for a very long time. She brought back that's end news. I thought, okay, Noah, I thought the same thing. I think it was so genius that Bravo decided to not do what they've done with other shows that they've done this to, where it's like, we're gonna bring back these two girls and we're gonna have some new girls, but we're still gonna make the show about the you know, the OGs or whatever. I love that they were like, no, we're gonna start off with Shamia and we're gonna break up from her and make the show her kind of like the leader of the pack essentially, and we're going to go off from that. I thought that was genius for them to do that. That was like one of the first comments I made about it. I was like, this is really really smart of them to have the show like anchor off of Shamia, because it makes sense. She is friends with she's a friends with the OGs and she's been around them, but she's also friends with these group of girls that are brand new. And so it just makes sense. They're not just some random girls coming onto the show. It all made sense. I was like, Real Housewives of Atlanta, whoever's doing that show, whoever did the reboot for that show, needs to start doing some reboots for some of these other ones. Cough Cough, Beverly Hills, Cough Cough, Jersey. Well, actually, I think Jersey just needs to be chopped altogether. Yeah, she's known these women for a very long time. And she's been in the background again for Portia. Man, oh man, oh man, I miss Portia. She is just so fucking quick and funny and silly and goofy and like and to see her from when she first was on this show to now, she's such a different person. And she has her moments where I'm like, girl, you are so you numb. Like with her soon to be ex-husband, I'm like, oh my God. And I love when enemies become friends on these shows. It is better. I love it. And yes, Noah, I love Portia and Kenya being friends. I love it. I love when the two characters on these shows that have been like have hated each other to the core decide to be friends. And honestly, I think it's because of their daughters is why they're friends now, which I think is really really cute, and I really like it. And I think they're both. You guys, I say a lot of shit about these women. It is rare. I can't even think off the top of my head. It is rare for me to say that any of these women are bad mothers, because they are good mothers. A lot of these women are. That doesn't mean that they're the most palatable, wonderful women to hang out and be around. But when it comes to as moms, like these women are good moms. And I think Portia and Kenya are good mothers. I think Kenya loves being a mommy. I think that's like her personality. She's like, I'm a mommy and I love it. Sometimes I forget that she even had a kid. I'm like, oh my God, that's right. Kenya has a kid. What I like about this season of Real Houses of Atlanta is how did we go from like, I feel like whoever's editing the show this season, there's a lot of choppiness. Like I feel like this scene is such a great example of that. This like whole 5-6 minute scene here is we edited it so we went from the girls talking and making fun of the food and then like chop. Now all of a sudden we're randomly talking about the like event, and there's not like this smooth transition of like, oh, how was your event? Oh, it was great. How much money did you raise? Oh, we did this, we did that. And then it's just like, boom, let's just like annihilate Drew out of thin air. It's just like, I don't know what it is, you guys, but the choppiness of this, there's choppiness in this season. And it bothers me. It bothers me. Mon blazer for your child, for your baby, for your little child, a Balmain blazer. I don't know if I believe that. But also, I think originally they were saying that your friend didn't get anything, but now it's turned on to Drew, which again, the editing feels choppy. It feels like something's not right because it went from your friend didn't buy anything to all of a sudden now Drew didn't buy anything. And it's like, was that what the conversation really was? Like, sometimes I really want to be like, can we have, like, I'll even subscribe to it. I'll pay money for it. Can we have a Bravo Patreon where the producers just put the raw ass footage out there? Just put out the raw footage so we can really, as the audience, see what we want to see. And because it's like, don't sit there and act like the raw footage is boring, because it's not. Not to us crazies. Show the raw footage to me. Drew kind of reminds me of oh my god, who does she remind me of? Hold on, I'm so bad at names, you guys. I apologize. Oh my god, who gonna check me, boo? Everybody read my mind. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm having a stroke right now. Who gonna check me, boo? Oh my god. Noah? Who gonna check me, boo? Who gonna check me, boo? Who's that? Who's that one? Who's that housewife? Why is it on the tip of my tongue and it won't come out of my mouth? Who is it? Oh my god, which housewife is that? Oh my god, it starts with an S. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose my mind, you guys. She reminds me of her. Like Drew reminds me of her a lot. Like, very messy, can't keep her story straight. Sheree, thank you. Jesus. Sheree. I love Sheree. Oh my god, I love Sheree. Sheree's son is hot. Um, she reminds me a lot of Sheree in the sense of like, you never know how much money she makes. You never know what the hell she's got going on. You never know if her businesses are fucking real. You never know what's going on with the people that she's dating. It like nothing she says makes sense. She contradicts herself constantly. Like, that is Drew. Drew is Sheree. And it's so funny to watch because you know how they kind of like in all the housewife shows, they have the housewives that are like really rich, like rich, okay? And then they have like the lower end richies. And they always kind of like have this weird sense of it's like there's an etiquette that's kind of not there. And I feel that's Drew. Drew has like this weird etiquette that like she's below them. It's really weird dynamic. And she's always kind of like the little sister too. Like, she's not the same age as them, if correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure. Sheree needs to come back because she dated Angela Oakley's husband. What? What? Wait. She date wait, what as in Charles Oakley or as in another ex-husband? It'd be masterful casting.
Suppose
I love how Shamia, like, this is the one thing that I just, if I'm speaking out of turn and I don't have a right to say these things, please let me know, okay? I'm happy to be called out, okay? The one thing that I love so much about Black women is that they have just the best style, which is the reason why people that look like me are trying to constantly fucking steal from them. Because Shamia shows up every single episode with a new wig on, a new beat, a new outfit, looking absolutely gorgeous. One minute she's got a short haircut, little bob thing. Next minute she's got a full on just layers and everything going on her back. Like, whoever does that woman's wigs is chef's motherfucking kiss. She has the best wigs. They're so absolutely beautiful. And these women are just top notch all the time. This is why I've said this for a long time now, is that style wise, not copy paste, okay? Because again, stop stealing from Black women. But the other franchises, the other women need to step it the F up on the clothing and the looks. And you notice that when the Black franchises, Atlanta and Potomac, started doing the whole cast has the similar vibe and color, all the other shows were doing the same. Portia is so messy, and sometimes she's not great at it. It's like, what are you this is her party, her little event. Okay, she hosted it. You're sitting next to her and you're going to have the audacity to understand that. Stop it right now. In making a Discord, I would be happy. I have a Discord account. I just need to log into it and figure it out. So maybe I can do that tonight. I can get that all set up so that way I can have that, and then you guys can send me clips and things like that, which I think would be really, really fun. Mentally growing stance. Oh, that'd be so cute. That'd be so cute. Yeah, I will figure it out because I do have one, and I used to have things about Housewives and different shows attached to it. So I can go in there and I can kind of redo that and look into it and um see what we can do. Mind you, I'm a baby when it comes to this stuff. So you guys will be teaching me probably more than I'll be teaching. I have the floor. I don't get like I just you guys, am I crazy? Like I don't understand why Britt got so upset. And I kind of want to know another reason why again I want this raw footage is I want to see the timeline of how long they've been there because again, I'm not trying to be an investigative reporter, but I feel like we're missing so much fucking context. I want to know how many drinks that Britt has had because this just is too much. And Kenya is a provoker. Don't get me wrong. Kenya provokes bitches all the time. Okay. She provokes me. Okay. But, excuse me. That being said, she didn't provoke this. She didn't bring any of this up. She wasn't being rude or nasty. It didn't seem like she was even saying anything awful to Britt the whole episode. And then Britt just comes in so hot and heavy. And so I hate using the word aggressive when it comes to Black women because I feel like that's such a negative connotation and it needs to be put forward appropriately. But like very much like, oh, like really on Kenya's ass out of nowhere. And then I didn't send for her. You did. You did with the question that you asked. You did send for her. You knew that that was going to be in there, allegedly, maybe, possibly. That's just my opinion. And kind of the way she's looking over at Kelly, I'm like, did Kelly write it? Did Kelly write it? Maybe Kelly wrote it. Very interesting. Very suspicious. Okay. I find that very interesting. So I'm just kind of wondering, like, what's that all about? But like, no, you did send for her. You asked this question. Instead of dropping it when she said her comment, you kept going at her over it. You kept pushing it. What am I what am I missing? Like she calmed the conversation down. She said what she said. She was ready to move on. You're the one that keeps provoking her. And we all know Kenya, you can only push her so many times until she starts giving her one-liners out, and her one-liners are dirty, nasty meat. So I'm like sitting here kind of wondering to myself, I'm like, oh, okay, listen, get out of here, Joe. We're not trying to watch you. I'm kind of like trying to understand what happened because it really went from 0 to 100. And now all of a sudden we're talking about pistols and Glocks and shit. And like, if you've watched Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know that they have a history of speaking on gun violence. Like they have talked about this, and they've all been affected by it. They've all had horrible situations happen to themselves, to other people around them, to family members, to friends, or whatever. And so to have that conversation was really, really weird to me and very inappropriate and wrong. And I don't, and again, it could have happened. I don't know. I don't really understand why they didn't shut her down, why the producers didn't sit her ass down and go, absolutely not. Like, to like take, like, she was threatening violence to another woman on the show. Why is she still on the show? Why are we not taking that threat so seriously and stopping it immediately and be like, no, we're not doing that. Bye. But Kenya, and again, I could be completely wrong about this. I don't know the full story. We're going to watch a clip with Kenya in just a second. But Kenya does what she does, and she allegedly got fired. So I don't think either one are okay to do and have on the show, but only one of them that I know of is booted off the show and the other one isn't. But one of them uh, on camera threatened another cast member with pure, like hardcore, like pew pew violence. What are we doing? What is Bravo doing? Okay, so let's do. This was Kenya on Tamron Hall's show, and this is like right about when this stuff started coming out, and this is her response to it. So let me push her all the way out here because it's like, oh my god.
For the Atlanta series.
Yes.
There are some things we need to clear up, or you need to clear up. You were not fired, or were you fired?
I was never fired. I was never fired. So there were a lot of headlines that spread across the world.
Across the world, I don't know about that. But so she wasn't fired. She was suspended. Suspended. Okay. First of all, Bravo will be, unless Kenya does something insane, they would be nuts to fire her because she's such good TV. But we'll see.
Kenya was fired. She was fired. She was let go. All of those things, and they were not true.
What is true?
What is true is that, where do you want me to start?
Well, are you a part of the show?
I am still under contract, and I am still an employee of the network.
So you still receive checks from the show?
I still do.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
These women should be getting royalties up the asshole with the amount of replays that they get of their show. They should be getting massive royalties. Like, I don't know how that's not a thing for them. Like Vanderpump Rules, could you imagine all the royalties they could have gotten off of Scandival? Nothing. Not a penny.
Yes. So,
Okay.
period. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, because we're going to be honest.
Yeah, you have to be
I
honest.
called you.
Yes.
I called you and I said, what is going on?
Yes.
I'm not going to pretend that this is someone that I am not friendly with. But I don't know. I'm not playing dumb right now. You
Right.
know that. I called to check on you. I
Yes.
didn't call to get the scoop.
Yes.
So you're still being paid by Bravo. You've not been fired from the show.
Oh, you guys, not me just realizing that you can't see the video at all. What a dumbass. Let's go back here. Sorry.
Kenya was fired. She was fired. She was let go. All of those things, and they were not true.
What is true?
What is true is that, where do you want me to start?
Well, are you a part of the show?
I am still under contract, and I am still an employee of the network.
So
and
you
the
still
show.
receive checks from the show?
I still do.
Her PR team was like, you are going to wear the most innocent, angelic outfit you've ever seen in your entire life, and we're going to pop a bow on it, baby.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So,
Okay.
period. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, because we're going to be honest.
Yeah, you have to be
I
honest.
called you.
Yes.
I called you and I said, what is going on?
Yes.
I'm not going to pretend that this is someone that I am not friendly with. But I don't know. I'm not playing dumb right now. You
Right.
know that. I called to check on you. I
Yes.
didn't call to get the scoop.
Yes.
So you're still being paid by Bravo. You've not been fired from the show. I felt that this was a ploy for ratings. I have felt from the beginning, and I have not told you this, because it doesn't make sense. I think if this is a case of revenge porn and there's an investigation, and I hope that there was, why are you still being paid?
So here's the thing. That's another lie. I was never under suspicion for revenge porn. I never, ever, from the network, their mouths exactly, you were never under investigation for revenge porn. That is something someone put on their Instagram along with law to point a finger at me for something that was completely a false narrative.
So why aren't you on the show?
I'm not on the show because we started filming, and this is a pivotal season for Real Housewives, and they had a lot of new girls, and as you said before, I was one of the few that survived, and we were really excited to get the season started, and some of the new girls, as in the past, they come on and they're trying to make a name for themselves, especially.
That's the vibe I'm getting. And I'm not like trying to take Kenya's side because, again, I want to see the whole thing play out. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting of like, we're trying a little too hard. And it's, I think, getting to our head. And I'm going to assume that these women, because they have obviously proximity to Housewives, aka Shamia has proximity to Housewives, aka they all did or do, and they've probably been in the background of videos before or whatever. Anyway, that they're kind of like, I want to be a housewife. I want to be a housewife. And I guarantee you this isn't the first time they've tried to be housewives. I'm just saying.
Especially when they're not really showing up.
But that's a part of the franchise,
That's a
right?
part of
no
the
one
franchise.
wants to see a boring Housewives episode.
Exactly.
And so some of the things that come on, you know, people are keeping it spicy for a reason.
Yes.
Okay.
But when you go too far, and that's what happened, we were having a filming, and things took like a really dark turn. And toward me, there was a young lady who was new, and she just was poking the bear. And everybody knows, you know, the saying that I made up, don't come for me unless I send for you.
Right.
And that means simply, I mind my business. And
Right.
I don't start anything, I respond. So during this taping, the young lady escalated it to the point of tearing off mics, screaming all kind of obscenities at me.
Okay, so we saw that that's not true. She wasn't tearing off mics. There wasn't any tearing of mics. She didn't even give a shit that she had a mic on. But she was definitely, her husband was like, get this thing off off your body right now because you're acting insane. But there was no like tearing off of anything. It was just, hey, let's get this off of you. Like, we can't be dealing with this right now. And she did not care that she had a microphone on at all. She's still moving around and cussing and yelling on all this shit while her husband's trying to get that microphone off of her. Hello?
Me and threatening me. I felt threatened.
So let me.
You didn't feel threatened. You were threatened, girl. That 100% did happen. You were threatened in a very violent, weird, awful, just like out of, again, what is going on?
Pause here because I have to be fair to this person, Brittany Edie. She has nothing on her Instagram about this. I've never met her. I don't know.
It's been deleted.
There's nothing on her Instagram about this.
Yes.
We reached out. She did not respond to her. And I actually don't want to litigate her actions because I do believe people don't get to respond to pick how you respond.
They do not get to choose how you respond.
But you have to be accountable for how you respond.
100%.
So whatever, which I have no tape of, I don't know what happened. You've explained to the audience that there was some escalation and some things that went on there. But going to your reaction to it, so you're alleging this thing happened between you, the two of us. You think her behavior or alleged behavior was because she wanted to make a name for herself on the show. Okay, I don't know any of that.
Right.
Take me to the salon, because I'm all proud because you have a new salon. You're opening this new business.
Yes.
And no one is talking about you opening their business. They are reports that you had.
It overshadowed it.
You overshadowed it.
Yes.
This is what happened. They are saying you had these pictures of her.
Yes. Okay, let me tell you what happened. So from that night where all of this stuff happened and there were threats in my direction, and I felt very concerned.
Why can't she? I don't know why. I wonder why she can't say what the threats were. I don't know why. She clearly knows what they were. She said it. The audio is cut to show you that when they were driving away in the car, she said what she thinks Britt said, and she's accurate. So I'm not really sure. It must be like a legal thing. I'm not sure why she can't full blown say it when there is video proof she said it. It's not like it's like hearsay. It's like, no. They have raw edited footage, whatever footage they have to prove that she did say this shit. Say, because this is making her look like she did this. And again, I'm not saying she should have. I'm not saying Kenya's in the right. I'm not saying that any of that. But what I am saying is that it's being painted out to look like this is one of Kenya's shenanigans, and she did this out of thin air, and they just got in a fight, and Kenya went from 0 to 100, and it's like, oh, and no, Kenya was full-blown threatened in a violent manner. What am I missing?
I told the producers I'm concerned, I'm scared, and I kind of feel like they said, oh, we'll take care of it. And it didn't feel like it was taken care of. They actually made me feel like I was being like a black Karen. Like, here Kenya goes again. Nothing really happened. They were joking or something. I don't take threats or the way that I felt. You can't invalidate my feelings. And it was a real concern for me. I'm a single mom with a beautiful child that if anything happened to me, no one would be there for her.
So you felt threatened by some actions that happened?
Yes, and she repeatedly said, or it was said, that you don't know who I am. So I didn't feel like I was being protected, and I took matters into my own hands.
What did
I
you
did
do?
my research on her. I found a lot of information, especially in the, explicit world, with a few clicks, with people helping me. I didn't get things sent to me, photos or videos that I did see, allegedly that were her. And I said, okay, if no one else is going to step up for me and protect me, I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to tell everyone what I found out about her. It's a receipt. And before I joined Housewives of any franchise, 5 years in, we made up the term receipts, right?
Yeah.
If you find dirt on someone or somebody is messing with you, you come back with what? A receipt. Right. I found a valid receipt found on the internet.
So you knew that Bravo was recording your
Yes, it was
salon.
during a taping. Everyone signed waivers. It was during a taping. I didn't stand out on the corner, posting anything. It was during a taping. And we know, even with nudity that has happened on the show, they blur things out. So at the end of the day, I knew that they would likely blur it out because whatever it was that I found, they didn't like the receipt. It was explicit. And they didn't like, I found a lot, but I only showed one.
But like that doesn't mean that you should have shown it though. Like, why couldn't you? There's so many other ways to handle it, and she handled it. And like, what's crazy is that like Kenya had the upper hand in this situation. That's what's crazy, is Kenya had the upper hand in this situation before she did this, and then by reacting the way that she did, which was childish and inappropriate, she didn't. She got railroaded over. Hey, Jalissa, I hope your twins are good. Hopefully they're napping now. If you nurse them, they should be napping. And what I don't like is that because of the way that she immaturely handled that situation, she lost the footing. And now she looks like she's the bad guy when come to find out, Britt was being nasty and threatening her. Like, it's kind of scary. Oh, poor Bubba. That's so, I hate, oh my God, teething is the worst. Teething is the worst. Teething and potty training, the worst things in the entire world. And so, like, that's the thing that's like really disturbing to me, is that I just wish that Kenya would have spoken up more and stuck up for herself. I wish that the other women would have supported her and would have gone to production as a group and said, no, we're not doing this, because she doesn't know this person. Like, she doesn't know. It'd be different if like Kenya said something like that versus this woman who, like, you know her, but you don't know her. You don't know what she could do or who she has connections with. And again, there is going to be, and whether people want to talk about it or not, oh, bye, Noah. Good to see you. Um, and then I know people are like, oh, we don't want to talk about this stuff when it comes to Housewives. Well, I don't give a shit. It is what it is. There is a layer of of their race attached to this shit. These are Black women. Black women are the most disrespected people in our country. They're not taken seriously. She said it right there. She said I was going to be seen as a Black Karen. Because it's like, oh, Kenya, oh, Kenya. It's like, no, this is a regular thing for for these women. This is a regular thing for Black women. They are threatened 10 times worse and in the most disturbing ways than their white counterparts on these shows. That's not to say that the white counterparts on these shows, all these white housewives, they are not getting crazy ass threats and stalkers and crazy shit. They are. Of course they are. But the threats and the craziness has nothing to do with something they can't control, which is their skin color. So the fact that the producers allegedly didn't take her seriously enough and didn't take the situation seriously enough to be like, you're right, Kenya, something's not right. Let's let's put her on pause before you feel like you have to retaliate. It's just like, I don't get it. How many times do I have to do this? How many times do I have to flip and do this? I just wish that Kenya was put in a situation to succeed, but she was let down and felt like she had to take over the situation. But she took it over in an inappropriate way that wasn't going to help her. She could have done the same thing of like exposing this woman without doing it the way that she did. She blew up posters of a naked woman. That's time and energy that didn't need to be had. And I don't like it. But I also don't like how Bravo treated her, allegedly, I have to say, allegedly, and that they left her out to dry. And they basically let her take all of the blame. I don't like that either. I think it's fucked up. And I'm interested to see if she's on any other episodes after that situation. I'm very interested to see what happens. And I'm very interested to see if they keep Britt on the show and don't give her a little timeout that she clearly needs to have. Because these women have fought on this show time and time and time and time again about the most ridiculous, stupid shit, very serious shit. Again, the Atlanta girls in particular have had conversations about gun violence. Like, I just, we've never seen any of them threatened like this in such an explicit and that's the other thing is it wasn't like she said it one time. Britt didn't say it like a one time offhandedly. Just in the edited version alone, she said it 3 times. She kept bringing it up. What is wrong with you? And I can only imagine what it's like to be a minority, a person of color, who is probably used to getting these threats. That you are kind of like another one. It's like what? Like, if somebody threatened me as a privileged white woman, if someone threatened me in regards to a pew pew, I would be taking that so unbelievably seriously and would demand people to take me seriously. And the fact that she wasn't being taken seriously in this situation from a woman that she doesn't know well enough to know if she needs to take it seriously it continues to disappoint me with Bravo. Yeah, those were like, to repeat herself over and over and over again with those comments is wild to me.
Okay, so at the salon, you have these images up that you say you found on your own.
I pulled them out at some point.
So they were up. At some point, you pulled them out.
That was one part of it, yes.
But they're up.
Yes.
Okay. And
they were
so
shown.
you assume that they would be blurred out when this aired.
Of course they would. They can't show
because
nudity.
they can't show this.
Yes.
Were you building a moment? I mean, I know you said the other person was trying to make a name for themselves, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Were you trying to have a Kenya moment doing this, and it backfired?
I don't think that it's a Kenya moment. I live my truth. You've
but
seen
you're
me
the shade assassin.
I'm the shade assassin, but my moment is my life. Right. You know what I mean? So I don't need to create a moment. Right. There's a difference.
Which surprised me because I mean, I know, again, we have a lot of people and friends in common, and I know how TV works. I know how to produce a show, produce this show.
Yes.
I was surprised by the level of like aggression in this because that didn't seem like you.
Listen, in hindsight is always 50-50. If I could do it all over again, I believe the photos were very distasteful, and I elevated the situation. I've elevated situations before,
so
and I've taken full accountability for the things that I've done. I am sorry for what I've done. I didn't have to take it that far. But
I don't like that Britt didn't have to go on any television shows. Britt didn't have to go anywhere and have any conversations. Britt didn't have to do any interviews with Tamron Hall. Britt didn't go on social media. None of that shit. Which tells me, sniff, sniff, something ain't right. Something ain't right, okay? Something is not right. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom soon, just FYI. So just a heads up when this video is over. I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. But it's for me, the thing that sucks about, if we're just talking about Kenya's actions, you were creating a moment. You knew what you were doing. You're a grown ass woman. You know what you were doing. You were creating the moment on purpose. You were going to make great television. You know these things. You are aware of this stuff. She knows it. She's been on the show long enough. Okay. She has seen the princess wands. She's seen receipts. She's seen, I mean, for God's sake, she's brought her own shit on the show and provoked Portia, for God's sakes, to the point that they started beating the shit out of each other. We all know this stuff. She knows that. She knows what she was doing, and she did it on purpose. She did. I just feel like she had the upper hand in this situation, and she could have handled it so much better and had the audience point in her direction a lot easier. But Bravo failed her completely. Bravo failed her completely. And I really do think in this instance, she is going to get a lot of redemption. But I am interested to watch the episode, which is it out tonight or tomorrow night, I think, or Monday, I think? I am interested to see the new episode and what transpires from it. And I hope they show as much raw footage as humanly possible of the situation. I mean, come on. She said here that she did some research. She had people help her. Like, come on, Kenya. Come on, girl.
When I felt threatened, I've never had a child and be in a situation like this before.
That's interesting. That's a good point. She hasn't had a child before when she's been provoked like that. So that is kind of interesting. But also, don't you want to set a good example for your daughter? Like, why would you post nudie images? Like, there's so many other ways that you can even just, let's say you wanted to still bring this up. Let's say you still wanted to hammer home that she's been doing like nudie stuff on the internet. Number one, why is that a negative thing? That's something I don't like when people are like, oh my God, you have nudes on the internet. So who cares? Who cares? Women have OF accounts and make millions of dollars every year. Who cares if they have those, especially if they consensually put them out there? Who gives a shit? If I consensually put out that part of my life and that part of my body onto the internet and someone was like, look, she's a hoe, blah, 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 I'd be like, I put these on the internet myself. What are you talking about? Go to my link in the bio, go to the link right here and you can go check it out and you can pay $5.99 a month to come see me. You know what I'm saying? That part of it, I don't like because there is a depth of making people that do that as a profession look distasteful and bad and criticizing them and blah, 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 blah. There's just, and then again, you're not setting a very good example for your daughter. You're not setting a very good example for your daughter. And it's not to say that I don't set bad examples for my children, because I sure as hell do, okay? And I'm sure they will find things on the internet in 10 years from now and they'll be like, my God, what are you doing? Okay, I know for a fact probably. But it's like, if your dog, and then having it at her opening, I thought really sucked. Because it's like, you're ruining your own moment. Like, you're ruining your own grand opening. Like, why couldn't you have done it at another setting, another place? Or like, let's say you wanted to do what you did. You wanted to have these big photos and you wanted to make a whole fucking shebang. Why didn't you have all the women come over, sit at the house together, and do it in front of all the women? It's still going to be public all over the goddamn show and embarrass the shit out of her. So you still get that little reward out of it, which is what she wants. She wants a reaction. She wants a reward from the fans of it. So you still get that, but you don't have it displayed out at your own event for a company that you worked so hard for, to the point that you're sitting there telling Kelly, or who was it, Kelly, I think? You're sitting there telling Kelly that you've put hundreds of thousands of dollars into this shit, to the point that you're not sure if you're going to be able to ever have a college fund for your daughter. Like, come on.
So that's why I escalated it to the point where I was protecting not only myself, but my child.
We reached out to Bravo, and they said, we take all allegations of violations of our policies seriously, review the matter.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
And took appropriate action. But to Kenya's point, you are still employed. Yes. There's no silencing you, and you are moving forward. But
there's no silencing Kenya. But there definitely is not, there is no silence in Kenya. But I guarantee you there was a sit-down conversation of, this is what we are going to say, this is what we're not going to say. You know what I'm saying? All right, give me 1 second. I have to go to the little ladies' room. Give me 1 second. I'm back. Did you miss me? All right, let's see. What do we say? Uh, no, she doesn't have the salon, or now she doesn't have the salon or the studio. It made no sense. I mean, she has no studio or show. Does she not have the salon anymore? I don't know. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I literally thought that the salon had been open for like 2 years already. I'm gonna be real with you. I was like, wait a minute, the salon. I thought we'd been here. I thought we'd been here, done that before. Like, what the hell are we talking about now? All right. So for the last part of this live, which if you've been here, thank you so much. I would appreciate it if obviously you like this live, if you could share it. Even when it's all done, if you could go share because I keep the videos up on my live tab. So if you guys would share it with friends or family members, or, your neighbors that also love Bravo, I would really, really appreciate that before we finish up here and talk about the last part. Which is going to be Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and kind of a where do we go from here kind of situation. So with Real Housewives of I guess to wrap up Real Housewives of Atlanta is that I'm very interested to see what the future looks like in the next episode with Britt. Oh my God. Not me not having my mic on this whole entire time. Loser. Oh my God, that's so funny. That's typical me. Now you guys are gonna listen to me drink because I'm so worried about shutting the microphone off. Okay. What I was saying was we're gonna finish this up with the last part of this live. So to wrap up Real Housewives of Atlanta, I am very interested to see kind of where they take it and what they do with it. And I'm really interested to see the repercussions for Britt versus Kenya. Because I feel like if I want to give a little bit to Kenya, I do feel like if Kenya was taken seriously by production to any capacity, maybe you don't fire Britt, but maybe you pause her and put out a statement and say something like, this is what happened. I do think that what happened at the salon wouldn't have happened. But that being said, it did happen, and I found it to be not very inappropriate and not really making sense to what her concerns and feelings were. And it really made her look bad and overshadowed, not with like her opening, and overshadowed what actually happened to her, overshadowed her. So it's just really sad and disappointing. So I'm interested to see, as I said before, if you guys are interested, I do have a book club, and I do have a Bravo rewatch group where basically what I do is this is on Fable. I'm not sponsored. I don't have any affiliation with them. This is just my favorite website to do it on. I think it's really, really cool. And it's like kind of like a blog place, but you guys interact with me, which is really, really cool. And so I have a Bravoholics Anonymous group. So basically what I do is I watch the episodes, and then I basically give you guys, like, as I'm watching the episode, I like type my feelings and messages and stuff. And then I copy and paste it, and I put it in the bigger comment section and send it off to you guys and be like, these are my thoughts and opinions. What do you guys think? And they're just like a live, like, stream of consciousness is what I'm trying to say. They're just like a stream of consciousness. It's not like here's a paragraph and a story and here's this and here's that. It's very much like just out of my brain, very ADHD. So if you guys are into Real Housewives of Atlanta and my thoughts and opinions on it, go check that out over there. And then once Real Housewives of Atlanta is done, we'll move on to the next thing that we want to do. I also have a book club too, if you're into that as well, or we're reading Deep End. So if that's something you are into. So Real Housewives of Atlanta, go check that out, and we'll watch the new episode, and we'll kind of just go from there. I'll probably end up doing a live talking about it because I'm very interested in what the hell went on. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. So, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I made a video, and actually I will bring it up right now. Let me find it. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one right here.
My full chest.
Okay. Are we ready? All right, let's watch me while watching me. It's very Inception. Hopefully the audio is loud enough. Let me know if it's not.
And I'm going to need to hold your hand when I say this, that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills continues to be a group of women that gang up on one woman to push them off of the show. That is what Beverly Hills has been year after year after year after year, is they pick one cast member that they have decided that they are going to annihilate, that they are going to gang up on together, that they are going to be the biggest hypocrites on the planet and shove them off the show. The difference is here is that with Garcelle, there's microaggressions attached to it because they don't understand, because of their nice little white privilege and their little rich privileged woman life, whatever. They don't realize or understand the way that they treat Garcelle is different than how they treat the rest of the women in the group. And what I will say to Boz is be careful. Be fucking careful, because these women, especially Kyle, especially Dorit, they do not realize what they are doing and the way that they treat the women that are of color, the women that are the minority on this fucking show. They treat them miserably and horribly, and they've been doing it forever. I'm sad that Garcelle is no longer going to be on the show anymore, because she is truly the only one that tries to have real, authentic conversations with these women and tries to get through to them, and they don't fucking care because they live in Hollywood. They live in this weird multi-fucking universe of gossip and drama and BS that they can't see what the real conversation is. Garcelle was genuinely telling Kyle at the whatever Chuck E. Cheese table there about how if you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. Just be yourself. And she took that as, you're just trying to say stuff on camera. You're just trying to make me look like an asshole. You're just trying to do this. No, because you don't understand what a genuine friendship is. You don't understand what a genuine conversation is. You don't understand when someone is genuinely coming to you, because everybody in your life is fucking fake. And everything that you do is fucking fake and calculated. And not everybody on the planet is calculated like you are. Kyle Richards is exhausting. Kyle Richards is not good reality TV anymore. She picks and chooses what she wants to show, and then when she sees that the audience doesn't like the way that she behaves, she backpedals and then says, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And then when anybody brings it up, why are you bringing that up? Why are you bringing that up? If you didn't want people to talk about Morgan, why the fuck did you bring her onto the show? Stop saying she didn't sign up for this, she didn't sign up for this. She did sign up for this. She was on a whole season because of you. Because you wanted to make people think that you're a fucking lesbian. And you're not a lesbian. You're not fucking gay. You aren't going to date a woman. Cut the crap. I am so tired of Kyle. I do not like how she gay baits. It pisses me off. You put an entire season of shoving her down our throat, talking about her. You made a music video where you heavily insinuated the two of you having an affair. And then the next season, when Garcelle brings it up, all of a sudden you don't want to talk about it and Garcelle's the asshole. No, you're the asshole. And I'm sorry to be an asshole, and I'm sorry to be mean, and I'm sorry to kind of be aggressive in the way that I'm speaking right now, but I cannot stand women that are so belligerently an asshole and then want us, the audience, to feel bad for them. This is what pisses me off about people like Kyle Richards. And Lisa Rinna is another one. You're going on podcasts saying that the audience is the audience is the one that made me leave. The audience did this, the audience did that. No, you just didn't like that we saw your bullshit. You didn't like that we called you out. You didn't like that we thought you were being fake as fuck. You didn't like that. And that's the problem with Kyle. Kyle doesn't like that we, the audience, notice what an asshole she is. She does not like, and every single season, I don't want to be on here anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that, because she wants people to go, no, Kyle, please come back. No, Kyle, please, I'm begging you. Don't do it, Kyle. No, fucking do it, Kyle. I dare you. I dare you, Kyle, to quit Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and have anything else going on in the fucking world outside of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I literally dare you. Something I cannot stand is when privileged white women use their privilege to be conniving assholes and to sit there and to propagate and push out that you have anything to do with the gay community, that you want to be a part of it, is a bunch of fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. Her little agenda with Morgan, I'm calling it out. It was bullshit. It was a lie. She is not gay. She is not lesbian. She is queer baiting. And it is disappointing and annoying. And then on top of that, for her to push this lying bullshit agenda on a black woman on her show who has way more accolades than she ever fucking will is disturbing to me. And Erica, out of all people on this cast, to sit on a couch and look at this woman in the eye and go, you don't have anything going on. You don't have anything. Oh, you're so boring. Oh, you're so this. Oh, you're so that. What the fuck do you do? What do you do? Tell me what you do outside of things that your husband has given you, the life that he has given you, or the things that he's taken away from you. Tell me something that has nothing to do with your husband that you fucking do, that has nothing to do with him. Why don't you tell us about who you're dating? Why don't you tell us about how apparently you fucked Armie Hammer? Why don't you talk about that on the show? Don't see that happening. How come Garcelle has to talk about who she's hooking up with, but we have no fucking clue who you're hooking up with? And don't tell me you don't have anybody that you're hooking up with, because you do, Erica. You do. But because she says it, you don't like it. They are the biggest fucking hypocrites on the planet. If any franchise on Bravo should be on pause, it should have been and should be Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I am over it. I'm over watching privileged white women take their privilege and fucking ruin it with their stupidity, because they want to sit over here in La La Land and act like they can play little games and play little fun with people's lives. No wonder Garcelle wants nothing to do with this show anymore and doesn't want to be on it. And I've said it and I will say it again. They will fucking do it to Boz too. They do it every single time. They've done it to what is it, Kristen, whatever the fuck her name was. They're doing it to Garcelle. They're gonna do it to Boz. Eventually, Boz will push a line that they won't want to talk about, or they don't want to deal with, or they don't want to listen to it, but they want Boz to talk about her life. They want her to say a bunch of other things. They want her to come with all this other stuff. And then what they do is they try to push her against the other black woman in the group. Again, don't tell me this is not happening. It is happening. It's on television. I have eyeballs. They are going to do it again to her. They do it every time, and I'm annoyed with it, and I'm tired of it. Andy Cohen, Bravo, wake up and realize that this show needs to be revamped completely. We are done. We are over with it. The fact that you have all these white women that have no fucking brain cells on this show who continue to push away all these characters and push these disgusting narratives, these horrible things, and don't want to talk about anything else. I'm over it. I'm literally over it. And it's like, oh, well, you're on here talking about it. You're on here talking about it. Mark my words. Today's the last day. I'm not talking about Beverly Hills anymore. You know, I'm going to talk about Garcelle. I'll talk about her as much as I want. But the rest of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all suck. Okay? You're horrible women. You're horrible people. Your agendas are disgusting and gross. Shout out to Garcelle. You are a real one. I don't know how you put up with these women, and I'm over it. That's my rant for today. I'm sorry it was angry. I'm sorry it was mad. I'm sorry if it was aggressive. But at this point, I don't care. I expect more from my television programs. I've had enough. I'm not one of the dumb people watching Bravo. I'm not an idiot. I'm a grown-ass woman. And I know that 99% of the women, of the gays, of people that watch Real Housewives are intelligent people and don't want to watch this crap anymore.
Here I am talking about it. Heyo! Here I am talking about Real Housewives. I'm such a hypocrite. I'm just like, I'm never going to talk about them again. It's like, well, I was a little rage and pissy and mad because I'm just over it. I'm like over this franchise. Like, I don't know about you guys. Obviously comment while I'm talking and tell me what you guys think. You know, for me, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has been lacking for a while. I think that Erica was like a real big, refreshing shakeup. I think Sutton and like Garcelle were really big shakeups and added some life and some breath. Oh, sorry, my son's waking up. Brought some life into the show. But then what started to happen, and Lisa Rinna, I think, was the catalyst to a lot of this, not all of it, because I think Lisa Vanderpump was kind of too, was let's see who we can force off the show. Let's see who we can boot off the show. Let's see who we can kind of like push our privilege around and get what we want. And you start realizing that they have kind of collected a group of women that they've kind of turned their backs on and almost like forced them out. And Kyle is behind the scenes like the leader of all that. But she's very much like Tom Schwartz. It's very much like, oh, I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm not a bad guy, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, in the background, they're little assholes. My biggest gripe that I have with Kyle that really, really pisses me off, and it pisses me off on a personal level. It pisses me off on so many levels, okay? But on a personal level, as a sibling to a queer person, I can't explain to you how angry it makes me watching Kyle queerbait the audience into thinking that she's a lesbian when she is not a lesbian. She is not queer. She's not gay. She's not a lesbian. She is a regular schmegular straight woman. I'm sorry, she is. If anything changes, we'll let you know. And that'll be great and wonderful. That's amazing. But she was queer baiting for a storyline. And then she did it a whole fucking season and played the, oh my God, am I a lesbian? Am I not? Ooh, oh my God, am I a lesbian? Am I not? Ooh, me and Morgan. Ooh. And then the next season, Morgan doesn't want to be on the show anymore. I wonder fucking why. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. She chose not to be on this show. You shoved her in our faces. I didn't know shit about who this woman was until you showed up. Until you shoved her in our faces. I had no fucking clue who Morgan was. It's on you, boo. You're the one that brought her on TV. You're the one that shoved her in front of our faces. You're the one that wanted her to be a storyline. You're the one that made her a storyline. And you're the one that made a music video middle fingering the audience of, are they together or aren't they? Are they naked in a bathtub or aren't they? I don't know. So, but now you don't want to talk about it. That's the thing I can't stand about Kyle, is that when the storyline suits her and gets her all giggly and happy, she loves it. But the second the audience catches on to her BS, she goes, no. She did the same thing with Kim. When she was making Kim look like an asshole and an alcoholic and a drunk and a drug addict and all this shit, it was okay to talk about it. And it was okay to suffer for the art, essentially, okay? But when it started turning back onto her of like, well, you're not really being the nicest sister and you're not really supportive and you're this and like started peeling back some layers to her assholishness. She doesn't like that. It's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to talk about my sisters anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Why don't you want to talk about them anymore? Because you don't want to have the conversation about your part in this. Because you're not the good guy. Do I think that she's the most evil person ever? Absolutely not. Do I think she's the worst housewife ever? Absolutely not. Do I think that she's the worst sister ever? Absolutely not. But she never wants to take accountability. Ever. Ever. Kyle does not want to take accountability ever. I will say this in her favor. I do think that Sutton has a problem with, once she has her mindset on what she wants, she will not let it the fuck go. And she picks the wrong time to have arguments. She picks the wrong time to have conversations. She picks the wrong time to enter into certain topics. I think the way that she went at Erica was rough. And I don't agree with a lot of the Erica situation. But I do think the way she went about it was aggressive and inappropriate at many times and just off the cuff wrong. And even though Erica, I think, there's so much I can say about the Erica situation. I do feel like Erica had every right to defend herself though too. I mean, if it was in the reverse, it'd be the same thing. And I think the way that she went at Kyle last season had moments of inappropriateness and awkwardness and stuff that I was like, I like, Sutton, chill. Like, you don't have to know everything. Oh, well, you're my friend, but you're not my friend, but you're like, it gets to be too much. And then she did it again this season with Dorit. It's like she wants to know every in and out of Dorit's marriage. And it's giving privileged white woman that sits on her porch, drinks lemonade, and gets the gossip of the town. That's the vibe that Sutton has always given me. Sutton is the typical rich white woman that wants all the tea and the gossip. That's what she wants. And when she doesn't get it, she doesn't like it. That's my vibe of Sutton. Is Sutton entertaining as hell? Yeah, she is. Does she have the funniest shit come out of her mouth half the time? Yeah, she does. But do I think she's a pain in the ass? I think she thinks she's a pain in the ass. Garcelle's even said it. Garcelle's like, she's not, the hero in these stories, but the way that the women come at her sometimes I find to be too very ganged up and aggressive, and I just don't like it. I just don't like how they came for Garcelle in very hypocritical ways. I said it in that TikTok. What the hell does Erica got going on that I'm unaware of? Okay? That doesn't have to do with something her husband gave her, her husband took away from her, or has anything to do with her husband. She doesn't talk about her son, which is fine. Completely understandable why she doesn't have her son on the show, why she doesn't talk about him because of his employment. And I validate that and completely understand that. And I understand she's trying to keep her child safe. Totally understandable. But you sit there on a couch. Andy Cohen, this is also on you too, which pisses me off about Andy, is Andy doesn't ask the right questions, I feel like, anymore. Andy relies heavily on the cards versus knowledge of some of these women. And it makes me wonder, like, are you watching this fucking show? And it's like when Erica says, like, oh, we don't know who you're dating. It's like, well, we don't know who the fuck you're dating. You're dating. We know you are. You talk about it very under the radar, very like, ooh, I'm boning half of LA. Who? How come Garcelle has to say who she's boning, but you don't have to, when allegedly you and Armie Hammer were getting it on, and Armie Hammer is cannibal, allegedly. That would have been a fun little storyline. Why didn't that get brought up? Everything that they want Garcelle to do, they won't do themselves. Garcelle has had real, authentic, heartfelt, deep conversations about her life on this show that are not about her husband, that are not about anything that's outside of herself. It's about her, things that she's accomplished. She bought that beach house. She's had conversations with her sons. She's had conversations with her oldest son and his situation and his addiction and his troubles and the things that he's gone through. She barely talked about her ex-husband. She only really talked about him the first season that she was on because it was kind of like, hey, here's an explanation of my life. But outside of that, she barely ever talks about him. She has, like, again, has conversations with their children, has had conversations about with them being black. The season that Erica cussed her fucking kid out was so atrocious and not taken seriously enough, in my opinion, and was like, haha, very funny. It's not that big of a deal. Meanwhile, people are on the internet, again, like I said with Real Housewives of Atlanta, the fans and the enemies, I guess you can call them, the non-fans, treat the white women on these shows very differently than the black women. So the hate that Erica gets is different than the hate that Garcelle gets. And they don't get that. And they don't want to get that. And it's annoying because it is always me, especially with Kyle. It's like, no, I hurt the most. No, I'm the saddest. No, I'm the most hurt. No, I've been through the worst things ever. I've been through this. We're not. That's what these women don't seem to grasp, is that you recognizing that someone's going through a certain pain doesn't invalidate your pain. You recognizing that a black woman on your cast was treated horrifically and badly and got way worse repercussions from the internet than you will ever get is not invalidating the times that you were on this show and you had horrible people saying horrible things about you and you getting hate. It doesn't invalidate that. But it's always the I'm the saddest card. Been in the worst situations. I've put my heart. I've been on the show forever. I've done this. I don't care. You care. Stop invalidating Garcelle. That's all these women do, is they consistently invalidate Garcelle and invalidate her experiences and invalidate her blackness. And it's fucking annoying. And I'm over it. And I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to watch the Real Housewives of white people anymore. Like, I just don't want to watch it. I want to watch Real Houses of Miami. I want to watch Real Houses of Atlanta. I want to watch Real Houses of Potomac. I want to watch real fucking people. I want to watch rich women, obviously, because I want to watch all the glitz and glamour and fun and all the craziness that they do. I want to see that. But I want to see real people. These women are not real. They don't live in a zip code that's real. They don't live in a time for themselves that is fucking real anymore. These women are one, like, one of them is best friends with Kris Jenner. Like, we're talking about a different level of rich people delusions, okay? This group of women is gone. Like, they're off to fucking lunch now, and they don't care. And when they have women on this cast that are of color, that are a minority, they invalidate the shit out of them. They did it with Crystal. Everybody wants to be like, oh my God, Crystal, she's so sensitive, she's so that. If any of that would have happened to Kyle, oh my God, Kyle, is Kyle okay? Oh my God, someone walked in on Kyle. Oh my God, Kyle. Kyle would have had a fucking fit, whining and crying about it. But because somebody else had to deal with it, that wasn't Kyle or Kyle's friends, Kyle's besties, it's just, I've had enough. I've had enough of Beverly Hills. And I truly, like, every season I sit there and I go, I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't think I'm going to watch Beverly Hills anymore. And to be fair, I didn't watch Beverly Hills this season. I usually watch the last, like, 3 or 4 seasons. I watch the first 2 to 3 episodes, and then I clip everything else. I just watch clips on the internet over and over and over again to get the gist, because that's what it is. The show's not even compelling enough to watch the whole fucking hour. I just watch clips of stuff. And that's enough for me personally to have an opinion and to think about it and whatever. And I just feel like, I think I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm good. If they are going to reboot Miami, if they're going to reboot New York, if they're going to reboot New Jersey, if they're going to reevaluate and reboot Atlanta, they need to reboot Beverly Hills. They have to figure something else out. This franchise is not good anymore. This group of women is not good anymore. They're not fun to watch. There's no sense of caring about them. What they might want to consider doing is the same thing that they did with Atlanta, is take Boz and feed off of her. And if you want to keep, you know what? You can keep Erica for all I give a shit, because, she can be entertaining. Okay, I'm not going to lie. She can be entertaining. You want to keep her whenever. But keep Boz and branch off from her. And actually have a well plethora of women from different backgrounds, different ages, different ethnicities, different cultures, different religions. Like, let's have it, like, let's watch Friends that have some depth to them. These women don't have any depth. So it's not enjoyable. It is so surface level. And it is very much, if it is, like, I've said this so many times, one of my favorite Bravo celebrities in terms of them putting themselves out there raw to the point of their own embarrassment is Sheena Shea. Sheena is one of the best Bravo celebrities because she has her flaws, and I've pointed many of them out, but she is raw and real to the point that she makes herself look like an ass. But she's being herself, and she's being raw. And there isn't this, like, this shield up. And I loved that about watching her. But there is none of that with these other women. There are lines that I'm okay with not crossing. Like, again, with Erica, I am so 100% totally fine with never talking about your son, because it's valid, it's understandable, it makes sense. But when it comes to Mauricio, when it comes to PK, you all put yourselves out there willingly. And don't sit there and tell me that Mauricio and PK didn't love being on The Real Housewives. They did. To the point that Mauricio made his own show to talk about his own life and tell his own side of the shit. Okay? And now all of a sudden we don't want to talk about our marriages. Now all of a sudden we don't want to bring things up. Now all of a sudden we don't. No. Nope. No. Teresa Giudice drives me absolutely fucking up a wall. But man, oh man, was she raw and real about her and Joe's relationship? Did we see raw details of their marriage from the beginning to the end? And I applaud her for that, because she said, I signed up for this. I'm going to put it all out there. They don't do that. The Beverly Hills Housewives They don't do that. We know nothing about Sutton. What do we know about Sutton? We don't know nothing about Sutton. Not one damn thing. When we went to her mom's, I was shocked. We know nothing about her kids. She talks all the time about her money and her ex-husband. I think she cares more about the money than her ex-husband. You know, she's like, these women have no depth. And that might just be from where they live. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had the Real Housewives of Boston, Massachusetts, I think the vibes you're going to get are a lot different. And I think the depth and the conversations you would get would be a lot better. I think we're dealing with women that live in an area of our country that there's not a lot of reality going on in the brain cells. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Did anything I just say make sense? Can someone please either validate me or just be like, Sam, you're wild? Like, what are you even talking about? I would really appreciate it. Because I got to go get my baby. We're going to get going. Oh, cool. Yeah, because I've been on here for 2.5 hours, which is crazy. And I loved it. And I love doing lives. I much rather do lives than anything else on social media, to be quite honest with you, especially when people are in here and actually talking to me. It's even better. I really appreciate it. So, but yeah, I'm kind of done with Beverly Hills. And if you're a part of the rewatch crew, let me know how you feel about it too. Let me know how you feel about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know how you feel about all the shows that are out there. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Don't be afraid to comment ever. Thank you for those of you that did stay on, that were here with me. I really appreciate you. You're absolutely incredible and amazing. And for talking to me, shout out to Noah and Jalissa. I love you guys. Thank you very, very, very much. Like I said, if you guys want to join my book club and my Bravo Holics Real Housewives of Atlanta recap group on Fable, go check those out. Links are going to be in the bio as well. And then don't forget to check out my podcast that I have with my sibling on the Worlds on Fire podcast. Jalissa, I've never watched Housewives. That's iconic. I love that. I love that I just went on a massive rant that you listened to. Never watching Housewives. You are an icon, Jalissa. I love you. Go check out my podcast with my sister. New episodes are out every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go to the channel and go hang out there and watch the episodes. We have 8 episodes up now, 8 or 9 episodes up now, and they're funny. ADHD on crack. It's funny, it's crazy, it's stupid, but we have so much fun. I also have my Twitch account where I do gaming over there. I love playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure right now. It's been my jam. I think I might go live later tonight and play it with you guys. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. I appreciate you guys. I love you. If you are one of the replay crew members, hi, how are you? I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. And if you can, please, as I try to always say in all my videos, please go support the LGBTQIA businesses, people, organizations as much as you can. They need our love and support so badly right now, especially the trans community, especially the trans Black community, trans people of color community. They need our love and support so badly right now. So please, 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 please find local organizations that you can help and support right now. I will continue to try to leave links in my bios and all my stuff. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I do a lot of my like kind of social justice stuff. And I love you guys and I appreciate you so much. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.